This is the Clear Money Talk podcast, offering up creative solutions for your retirement future through education, choice, transparency, and empathy. Now, your host, CEO and founder of Clear Financial Partners, Tim Claremont.
Hello, and welcome to Clear Money Talk. I'm your host, Tim Claremont, CEO and founder of Clear Financial Partners. As always, I am here with, I don't know, what adjective do you want today, Tyler?
I'll just take my name.
Okay, all right, Tyler Andrews.
Tyler Andrews here.
Right-hand man extraordinaire.
No, thanks, Tim.
No, thank you very much, Tyler.
It's good to be in the podcast studio with Tim, like always. We're having fun.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
We start off our week with recording a new Clear Money Talk. So it's Monday morning, and I just love Mondays. And we were talking about this over the weekend, that Mondays are just very special to Tim and I. It's a new start, and we love what we do.
It is. Yeah. It's a good day of the week. It's actually, we were talking over the weekend with our wives. We were chatting about our birthdays and what day of the week we were born on.
That's right.
I was actually born on a Monday, so I think I have some rights to Mondays more than the other
you
three.
Like own Monday.
Yeah, it's my day. It's my day now. So yeah.
Nice. Well, good. Own it.
Anyway,
let's lean into it.
I hope you're having a great Monday or whatever day of the week it is that you're giving this a listen to. And let's just dive into answering our question today. Let's be productive for you. As always, we want to be efficient with the ROI on your minutes. What's your return on investment with your minutes? So let's give you some ROI.
Okay. Topic of the day today is, what is disability insurance and do I need it?
Got it. So, what is disability insurance and do I need it?
Yeah.
So if you clicked this, you might have heard of disability insurance, or maybe you're leaning into the do I need it part and you're looking for some kind of justification. In general, most people, I think, are feeling like, they don't want insurance if they don't need it. I know when I go to rent a car or things like that, I'm wondering, do I pay for the car rental insurance? Or when I purchase money for a trip or, things like that, and there's this insurance that you can pay for trip insurance. And some people are of the mindset where they want to insure everything, and other people are of the mindset where they don't want to insure anything. And it's a really hard personal decision to decide, where do you want to put your dollars? And I think most people agree that health insurance is a good choice for people to have. It's one of the main causes of bankruptcy in the country is if you don't have adequate health insurance. So what about disability insurance? Disability insurance is essentially insuring your income. Imagine that you had in your basement a machine that prints money. And imagine that machine printed your annual income, $100,000 a year. And let's say that's what your income is. Maybe your income's $50,000 a year, maybe it's $500,000 a year. Whatever your income is, that's what the machine prints every single year. And it's going to do that until you retire. How much money would you pay to insure that machine? It prints money. I mean, that's something I would insure. I sure as heck wouldn't want my machine to break down and stop printing money, or the house burns down and the machine's gone. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to minimize your existence and your significance as a human being on this planet. Clearly, you're more than a machine, but fundamentally, from an economic standpoint, you are a machine that prints money, and you produce money based on your paycheck, and your family's probably dependent upon that, and they're relying on that. The odds of dying, and I don't want to minimize the significance of life insurance here, but the odds of dying before you retire are only 1/3 the odds of you getting disabled before you retire. So there's a 3 times probability that you're going to get disabled before you retire versus die before you retire. So, think about that. What does that mean? Well, it means your money printing machine in the basement stopped printing money. And who's gonna print the money in the meantime? That's what disability insurance does. It says, hey, if you get disabled, let's make sure that you have some amount of income coming in to offset a portion of the money that you were generating on an annual basis. And you can't insure 100% of what the machine does. So if the machine's doing $100,000 a year, and you wanted to insure it for $100,000. They'd be worried that you'd just go break down the machine on purpose and collect the $100,000 from the insurance company per year. So they won't let you do that. The most they'll let you get is about 65 to 70% of what the machine generates, up until you would have hit a normal retirement age, typically age 65 or 67, something along those lines. So if you were to get disabled and you could no longer earn your income, then it would pay up to usually 65 to 70% of what you were previously making until you would have hit a normal retirement age. And because of that, in my mind, disability insurance is just as mandatory as health insurance. And most group employers, if you work for a government employment situation, or if you work for a large organization with, I would say, 50 or 100 or more employees, there's a high probability that you have long-term disability insurance built into your benefits package, and you're probably already paying for it, or your employer might even be paying for it for you. And that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. If you have long-term DI, is what they call it, LTDI, long-term disability insurance, that kicks in, a lot of times it doesn't pay for the first 90 days. That's short-term disability insurance. After 90 days, if you're disabled for longer than 3 months, you really need to make sure you have that extra income coming in. And sometimes 90 days is arbitrary. Maybe it'll start paying after 7 days, or maybe it'll start paying after 6 months. But 90 days is pretty common. So if you're disabled for a long period of time, it's going to pump out that income stream for you. That's what disability insurance is. But there's a little more to it. We'll explore disability insurance a little more on this conversation. But I want to make sure I give a moment for, frankly, me to drink a little bit of my LaCroix and take a breath so that Tyler can fill in any gaps.
Yeah, not a lot of gaps to fill in. I'm just always impressed with Tim's analogies and the pictures he paints. Just have you used that one before? The machine printing money?
The machine printing money. I heard that one probably 15 years ago or something. So there's some people in this line of work that do insurance and financial services work that focus in they specialize in certain things. And there's a few friends that I have that's all they do is disability insurance. Many times I actually have a couple of friends that were financial advisors, and then something really bad happened to them. One person was in a skiing accident and he broke his back, and he was going to be disabled, and he's managed to recover from that. And because of that, he's now very, very active, and has been his whole career in disability insurance, because he understood the significance of it at a very personal level. Another friend of mine had heart challenges, and because of his heart challenges has had multiple open heart surgeries. He's not eligible to get disability insurance or life insurance because no one will insure him on an individual basis. So that's something he's been very grateful for in these things. Things happen in life, and if unfortunately, you can't go out and get coverage after you already need it. You have to get it while you're healthy, and you can still qualify for it, and then hope that you don't ever need it. That's the win, right? It's okay if you get the protection, you have that peace of mind to know it's there, and then the money machine never breaks down in the basement. That's a good thing. That means you had a wonderful, wonderful, successful career, and you didn't end up getting disabled. But if you do end up with disability, with a disability where your money machine breaks down, you got to have those. You got to have that money come from somewhere. And who's going to write you the check when your paycheck doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, I think there's, to go off of what you just said, of that if something happens to you, you're going to be happy that you had the disability insurance. Is that I heard a quote from somebody in the disability insurance industry a really long time ago, actually, when I first got into the industry more so, and we had a client who's self-employed. They were looking to get disability insurance because obviously when you're self-employed, you have to deal with all that stuff yourself. Your employer's not doing it for you because you are your employer. So that client of ours had come to us and said, Tim, I need some disability insurance, and we were helping them do that. Part of that is trying to figure out how much disability insurance to get them. And I asked the question to one of our partners that works in disability insurance. I said, hey, X, Y, and Z, how much disability insurance does this person need? And they say, Tyler, slow down. I'm going to give you a quote, and you're going to re-quote this to other people, and it's going to stick with you, and it's going to make sense, is that with any insurance, whether it's disability insurance, life insurance, homeowners insurance, health insurance, if something ever happens to you where you need to use that insurance, you're going to wish you had bought more of it than you had. But likely you probably couldn't have afforded the amount that you would have wanted to purchase it in the situation that you're in. However, if you never have to use the insurance to begin with, you're really going to wish that you had never bought the insurance to begin with because you never needed it at all. And so it's trying to find the happy medium between those two ends, those two bookends, and finding, and that's where we can dive into some of this other stuff that helps us find on a needs-based analysis on determining the right amount of disability insurance or life insurance or whatever insurance it is. But at the end of the day, if you need to use this stuff, you're going to wish you bought more than you need to. And if you never use it, you're going to wish you had never really bought it to begin with. But to be in a safe spot, you probably should buy something.
Yep. No, I think that's a fair thought process when it comes to most insurance. And I think insurance fits into 3 buckets. Let's keep it simple. So, there's a bucket that's like, what? I have no idea why anybody buys this insurance. It's probably not really worth it in my mind. I think of the Looney Tunes cartoon. I remember back when I was a kid, I saw this I think Daffy Duck was I think it was Daffy. Is that right? So yeah, it wasn't Donald. It was that's right. The Daffy Duck was selling insurance to Elmer Fudd, and he wrote the insurance policy as this ridiculous thing, like, you're going to get paid $1 million if all of this stuff happens. And then at the bottom of the policy wrote in, and then but you have to get trampled by, a bunch of zebras, and then also, a herd of elephants. And it has to have a couple of geese jump on you at the end. And then at the end, one last little cow has to come along with a bell or something crazy like that. And then of course it's a cartoon, and, and they have that same situation happen where, they show this happen so the guy can collect the insurance. But my point is, there are some kinds of insurance out there where the odds of you getting the benefits are just so low, and the cost may be so high, or the risk might be so insignificant, that they go in the bucket of saying, that just doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous insurance. And frankly, I can't think of any examples right now. There's nothing I can tell you in the real world that I'm saying, oh, that's ridiculous, you shouldn't have it. But the second bucket is the must-have insurance, right? Like, everybody friggin' has to have this insurance. And I think the health insurance is in that category. I also think that auto and home insurance are in that category. That's why they're legislated. That's why you have to have a certain amount of auto insurance to drive a car legally. You have to have homeowners insurance in many cases, especially if you have a mortgage, because the person who's loaning you the money has to cover that. And then there's the in-between bucket, which is there's some good insurance out there that makes sense for you, for some people, and doesn't make sense for other people, and you've got to make some choices. I would argue that disability insurance actually really should be in that first bucket with health insurance and auto and home insurance. Even though it's not legislatively required, fundamentally it is one of the highest risk insurance situations that are out there. The cost if your machine breaks down is so significant, and the cost of disability insurance just isn't that much. Yeah. I mean, imagine you made $100,000. I've heard this example too. They call it job A, job B. You're going to go in and you're going to get a new job, and you've got two different employers that are fighting over you. And one employer is going to pay you $100,000 a year, but there's no benefits. The other employer is going to pay you $97,500 a year. But if you get disabled, they're going to give you $60,000 a year all the way until you would have hit age 65, because they care about you and they want to make sure that they take good care of you. So which one of those employers are you likely to choose? Most people will say, oh, I'm going to pick the one that's going to take care of me. What if I get disabled or something bad happens, right? I get that extra $60,000 a year. That's worth it, worth that difference. That's what disability insurance is. You just have to voluntarily choose to pay that extra $2,500 a year, that couple $100 a month, in order to buy disability insurance for yourself. So take care of yourself the same way you would have wanted one of that, plan, that job B, that second employer to take care of you. Make sure you take care of yourself. And if you're self-employed, think about the realtors and the mortgage brokers and the people that are really just running their own businesses, and they're small and they only have a couple employees, or maybe don't have any employees. There's nobody there to take care of you if something runs down. And make sure that your money machine isn't broken. It's not very expensive to get long-term disability insurance. You need it when you're healthy. You need it when you qualify for it, and it just doesn't make any sense to not have it in my mind. Once people understand it, they look at the numbers. They never choose to not insure. They're choosing to not get it because they can't get it because something bad happens health-wise, or they just didn't know about it. And let's not let ignorance be the reason why your money machine breaks down and then nobody's writing you a check.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the last thing you said is important, is that people don't choose to do those things. It's like the quote, it's people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan.
Mm-hmm.
So let's plan this so that way that doesn't happen to you.
That's right.
Okay. Well, do you want to get more green on how it works, or are we staying conceptual today on disability insurance?
I think conceptual is the most important thing. I mean, fundamentally, when you go to apply for it, they're especially if you're self-employed, they're going to say, well, how much income do you have to have? Typically, you want to have a certain amount of minimum income. But even if you're just getting started, you might hear the news out there that says, oh, you have to have 2 years in the business and have positive profit and everything else, and then you can get some disability insurance. And yes, you'll probably get a higher level of disability insurance once that happens, but usually there is a certain basic level of disability insurance. And people understand that if something happens to you, even if you're just getting started in your situation, you need to have some amount of disability insurance. Everybody needs to have some money coming in to pay for things if they can't work. And it's not all unemployment. It's, the state isn't, it's not their job to pay for you if you're disabled. We just don't have insurance benefits like that. We do have Social Security disability at a federal level, but that's for extreme levels of disability. Many people that get disabled where disability insurance will pay out, Social Security disability won't pay out because the disability is not severe enough. So don't rely on the government to take care of you. If something happens to you and you get disabled and you can't work anymore, you need to make sure that there's an insurance company there to help take care of you in addition, just in case the government, isn't there to pick up the balls. They're really there for the catastrophic stuff that is inarguably a necessity, and that's where Social Security disability insurance will kick in. Mm-hmm. But if you've got something in between, there's a lot of in-between stuff that could cause you to not be able to work, and that's where disability insurance will start writing you a check.
Absolutely. I think that's good.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Should we go just the answer?
Yeah, let's go with just the answer.
Okay.
So let's re-ask the question.
What is disability insurance? Do I need it? Tim, what is it?
Disability insurance, it is when you shift the risk to an insurance company that if your money printing machine in your basement breaks down, meaning that you represent your paycheck is going to be generated on an annual basis between now and normal retirement age. If you were to stop being able to produce that paycheck, just like as if you had a machine in your basement where it was printing your paycheck until you retire, how much would you insure that machine for? You're protecting that machine so that you can get 60 to 70% of the income that you usually generate continued to pay out to your family if you're disabled and unable to work. And that's what disability insurance is, and it is really, in my opinion, a necessity. Something that, if your employer's if you're fortunate enough to have your employer take care of it, yay, long-term disability insurance. Make sure that you're taking full advantage of it. If you have to opt in, make sure you opt in. And if you don't have it available, you're self-employed or your employer doesn't take care of that for you, reach out to us or reach out to somebody else that you might know to help you get the Social Security disability not Social Security, the disability insurance in place for yourself, and don't rely on the government to take care of you on this particular issue.
Yeah, and I think you answered it. But do I need it? Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Yes.
Yes.
If you're working, yes. If you're not working, pretty much for the most part, no. And
yeah, you can't get it if you're not working.
Especially if you're retired.
Yeah,
like if you're past that age 65,
That's
you're
right.
retired, you're collecting Social Security and retirement incomes. You probably won't even be able to get approved, even if you wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
So
if you're under the age of 65, you should have it. And if you're over the age of 65, you probably can't have it.
Correct.
So that's pretty much
generally
where it's at.
speaking. Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well,
Okay.
let's move on to
You ready for some trivia?
Fun closure.
Stump the Nerd?
What do we got? Stump the Nerd.
Yeah.
That's right. Stump the Nerd.
I got some good ones this week.
All right. Good.
I always have good ones though. So
All right. Yeah. What do you got?
this is like a riddle. So
Okay. All right. A riddle today.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
let's see.
Switching it up.
All right. Okay.
what belongs to you but is used more by other people? So what belongs?
I got it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, your name.
Yes. It is your name.
Yes. That's yeah.
So what belongs to you but is used
by
more
other
by other
people?
people? Your name
I haven't
belongs
heard
to
that
you.
before, but it just kind of struck me. I'm
Nice.
like, oh yeah, your name. A good riddle. When you think of the right answer, you're like, oh yeah, that's probably it. And then that's
You can
good.
lead yourself down some rabbit holes. With
You can.
riddles, so. And then it just
Yeah.
totally distracts you from the real answer. Okay, I got one more because I had a
right.
feeling you might get that one quick.
All right.
Okay.
What else you got?
What word retains the same pronunciation even after you take away 4 of its 5 letters?
Wow. Okay. So a 5-letter word that sounds the same after you take away 4 of the 5.
That's right.
This is a good one.
It is a good one. That's,
Well, if you take away 4 of the 5, you're only going to be left with 1 letter. That letter's got to be. Let's see. I could go through all the letters in the alphabet as I am right now in my head and saying them out loud because it's probably going to sound like one of those letters, or it'll sound like one of the sounds of one of those letters. Let's see. Haven't hit it yet. You're killing me here.
I know.
Killing me.
It's okay.
Well,
This is Stump the Nerd for,
oh man.
We're going to
I
have to give you a
don't
time
know.
limit here,
Yeah,
Tim.
I think we're gonna have to wrap up. I mean, I'm thinking like O-W-E would still sound like O if you took away the W and the E, but it doesn't have 5 letters in it. And so I'm kind of going through a lot of different thoughts here. We got to wrap this up because everybody else, if you're thinking of it right now and you're like, Tim, you're an idiot, this is it.
Yelling at the
Good
screen.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Yell at the screen, yell at the at the radio, and I hope you came up with it. We certainly gave you enough time to think of it as well.
Yeah.
If you don't want to know the answer, then you should pause right now so you can go noodle on it longer. But otherwise, I give up. I
That's
give
okay.
up. What is
That's
it?
okay.
What do you got?
Q.
Q.
Like you're in the queue.
Oh, yeah, Q-U-E-U-E.
That's right.
5 letters.
That's
Q. And then you get rid of the U-E-U-E. Still sounds
Get
like
rid of the UE.
Well done.
Yeah. There you go.
All right,
1 for
good.
2. That's a good
That's
ratio.
Good. That was good. I'll
That's
take
good.
it. I'll take it 50-50 on trivia. So anyway, I hope you learned something new today. Hopefully something smart about money and also something smart about random riddles. So,
Well, Tim, if they want more information, how can they reach us?
Oh, yeah. Probably should tell you that.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning.
Our phone number is 503-579-1000. You're welcome to reach out to us, and happy to have a quick little chat with you for 10, 15 minutes. We can talk about disability insurance if you think that's something that you want to look into and learn whether or not you have adequate coverage or not. If there's other stuff that you want to talk about related to money, of course, we do retirement income planning and financial and insurance strategies. So that's what we do.
Yep.
And if you want to check us out on the internet first, for some reason, you probably already found us through that, but go to clearfp.com. That's our financial planning and insurance oriented website for clients. That's clear, CLEAR, F as in Frank, P as in Peter.com.
Very nice. And with that, bring it to a close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any final wise words?
No, I did. I got them last week. I think.
right.
I think it's your turn this week.
Wise words. Wise words. Disability insurance. Get it.
Boom. That just happened.
Have a good one. Thanks for joining us on Clear Money Talk.
Investment advisory services are offered through Clear FP Advisors, LLC, or registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Clear FP Securities, LLC, member of FINRA IPC. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments may fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Timothy Claremont is licensed in your state, please contact his office. Clear FP Advisors, Clear FP Securities, and Clear FP Life LLC are not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide tax and/or legal advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Clear FP, LLC NPN number 194283777 and or Clear FP Securities NPN number 197499604. Any discussion of general investing strategies or specific securities are for conversational purposes only and should not be taken as a guaranteed endorsement or recommendation.